folks, Dad here with Elevation Diecast Racing. Happy Saturday. It is race day. Hot Wheels versus Matchbox. And they are separated into the bracket. Hot Wheels on the right side and Matchbox on the left-hand side. So we're going to get a winner from each side of the bracket. And then we're going to see who's faster, Hot Wheels or Matchbox. We have a track temperature of 67 degrees, and today's feature channel is Father-Son Diecast. If you have not checked them out, they have some of the coolest picking videos, and you can see right here where they just caught the super of the High Roller 2. These guys find more treasure hunts and supers in the wild than I have ever seen. So yeah, if you haven't seen them yet, go give them a like, subscribe, and check them out. All right, without any further ado, we're going to roll the Matchbox first. And the inside lane here is the Lotus Europa, which went unpicked. And of course, driving the green GTO is going to be Brian Creasy, Max Thunder 2, Cash Money Boys, and Mystic Archives. Good luck on your race day, and let's see who gets down the lane first. Woo-wee! 2078. Can he beat that time? 2078 is the time to beat. Good race. 2072, moving him to round number 2. Next up in the block, staged and ready, is the 2022 Ford Lightning, taking on that super fast Camaro, driven by Elva 1370 Racing and the Stone Ponies Racing. Oh, let's see who gets down the lane first. Camaro, 2118 to 69. 2118 is the time to beat. Camaro, 2116, getting him into round number 2. Next up in the blocks is a Firebird, which went unpicked against the Dodge Pursuit Charger, driven by Madman Diecast. Let's see who takes it down the lane first. Charger, driving around him, 2122 is the time to beat. Charger commanding lead, 2116 will get him into round number 2. Next up, both driverless cars, the yellow Silverado taking on the moving parts Range Rover. Let's see who gets down there first. Silverado picks up speed at the end, 2101 to 23. 2101 the time. 2097 this time, getting him into round number 2. Next up, staged and ready in the Chevy Tahoe, Zizzer Prime Racing and Milestone Racing, taking on the Superfast VW Volkswagen convertible. Yeah, well, let's see how it does. Oh man, well, he made it down to the end. 2104 to 64. 2104 the time. And 2100 gets him into round number 2. Next one's up. A couple I have some hopes for is this green Superfast Mustang, which went unpicked, so I'm going to drive that one. Taking on the moving parts I-Pace, driven by Mr. Red Pill himself. Let's see who takes it down the lane first. Mustang pulling out in front, 2119 to 24. I-Pace needs to best at 119. 2118 to 23. Mustang moving on to round number 2. Next up, another casting I have some high hopes for is this taxi cab. We seen this one from Hot Wheels Underground earlier last season, and had some pretty good speed. We're going to see what he's got today. Anybody driving the cab is going driverless, taking on the Boss Mustang, driven by, well, I guess we'll put Isaiah in this Mustang. See who gets it. Taxi cab 2129 is the time to beat. 2132 got driven around, but not good enough to beat the taxi's first time. Taxi moving on to round number 2. And lastly for the Matchbox, it is the Blaze Buster 2, driven by NZ Racing, taking on the red GTO Superfast, driven by GNR Vintage Diecast Racing, Chase Family Racing, Zamax Speed Shop, Scale Racing Channel, and Griffin Soul Diecast Motorsports. Good luck in your GTO. He does pull out in front. 2101 is the time to beat. Way out ahead this time. 2106. Good enough to get him into round number 2. And let's see, round number 2, who is going for Team Matchbox? GTO taking on the Camaro. GTO gapping him 2073 to 07. 2073 is the time. And back to Gapplebees he went. 2081 gets the GTO to round number 3. Next up we have the Chevy Silverado in yellow taking on the Interceptor Charger. Good race. 2105 to 14. 2105 is the time that the police need to beat. And the police get outran this time. 2096 by the Silverado gets him moving on. Next up is the green Superfast Mustang taking on the Chevy Tahoe. Should be a good race. Oh yeah, Tahoe though, 2099 to 10. Mustang needs to tear off a better than 2099. Not happening. Tahoe moving on to the next round. Now it's the Taxi taking on the green GTO. I think we know how this is going to go. GTO with some gapple sauce. 2097 to 26. Definitely good to see that GTO getting faster. He needs to pick up the pace, though, if he's going to win this race. 2098 will get him to the next round, though. So we're down to the last 4. On the Matchbox side, switching over to the Hot Wheels, it's going to be the 71 yellow Dodge Charger driven by Model Speed Shop and Steel City Mafia Racing. He'll be taking on the 70 GTO convertible, which went driverless. Convertible taking a 2099 win to 2111. Let's switch lanes. Yeah, you know, the real GTO. 2099 is the time. Gonna take it 2096 to the next round. Next up, a couple of popular picks. It's the Fast and Furious Grand National, driven by Joe Clayton, Clay 131 Racing, Mr. Gravelrama, and 7th Avenue Diecast. And driving the 69 Cougar Eliminator is Browns fan Larry Troy Sean Weiler and Bavarian Diecast. Sorry if I butchered your name, but there you are. Good luck on your race day. Good race. 2109 to 11. Eliminator needs to beat a 2109 or he will be eliminated. 2105, he does it, and he'll be moving on to round number 2. Next up for Team Hot Wheels will be the Transformers Bugatti, which went unpicked, taking on the 69 GTO from China. And driving the GTO will be Lobotomy Scam, Dennis Taylor, and Hot Nuts Diecast Racing. Whoo! 2114 and a 10,000 beat by the China-based GTO. What a race. Let's switch lanes. 2114 is the time. And 2109 by the GTO. We'll send that bad boy to the next round. Next up is the black 69 Mustang, driven by Bathurst Diecast Racing, taking on the Pagani. I believe it's a Hyra from the Transformers series, which also went unpicked. Woo, good race. 2100 to 09. Mustang's going to need a sub 210 and the win. Not going to happen. Pagani almost gapping him. 2098. Moving him on to the next round. Next up is the Plymouth Superbird, driven by Henry Stanislawski, taking on the Nissan, which went unpicked. Ooh, he take off 2096. Looks like the Superbird might have had his wings clipped. I don't know. Yeah, he's I think he's dragging a tire. 2096. I don't know what happened to this car. Its wheel seems to roll. It seems not to roll. A little better that time. Still not going to get him. So, since nobody picked this Nissan, we're going to put Henry into this one. Since his wheels were a bit of a bummer and didn't roll. So, Henry, congratulations. You got an upgrade today. Next up, in the 96 white Nissan 180 SX unpicked, taking on the Transformer. That's not a Transformer. It's a Fast and Furious Pantera Tomasimo. Let's see. Also unpicked. Pantera keeping it. No, he got driven around. 2128 at the end with a 10,000 speed. And 2128. Pantera out of the gate first, but got driven around at the end once again. Next up, staged and ready, will be the VW Brasilia, taking on the green 81 Camaro, driven by Richard Jankowski, Chris Wilson, and TNT Thurston. Camaro 2095 is the time to beat. Camaro 2093 improving his time, moving him to the next round. All right, next up, staged and ready, and probably the fan favorite of this race to win it is the yellow Mach 1 Mustang, driven by Northern Roads Racing, Dutch Clutch Racing, Larry Stipe, Aramis Rodriguez, Variant Skunkworks, Helium Gas, and Architect 8 Industries. He'll be taking on the yellow Porsche, which I believe went unpicked. Yeah, Gran Turismo. Nobody wants to drive it. And you guys know your cars because he does have a wider track on the back than the front. So this should be academic. And indeed it is. 2087. And run number 2. 2093. All right, starting off round number 2, the 69 Cougar Eliminator taking on the convertible GTO. Good race. GTO getting them though 2095 to 06. 2059 is the time to beat. Cougar putting up a good fight there. 2099 and a 10,000 speed. GTO with the faster time also at the first one is going to move on to the next round. Good race. Next up is the 69 GTO taking on the Pagani. Come on, let's go GTO. Pagani 2091 is getting faster. 2091 is the time to beat. A little closer race this time, but the Pagani moving up to the next round. Next up, a battle of the Nissans. The 180 taking on the 300. 2099 by the 300 is the time to beat. 2097 moving to 300 to the next round. And now we have the classic Camaro versus Mustang. Good race. Really good race. 2087 to 90. 2087 is the time to beat. I'm going to make sure they're nice and straight. I want to make it nice and even. Make sure it's right. Mustang. Gonna take it. And then there were 4 Hot Wheels left. Heading on over to the Matchbox side of the bracket is the GTO in green taking on the yellow Silverado. What a race. 2079 to 92. And 2079 the time. Better race that time. And the Silverado with a 2091. Won't be the last time we see him. He'll get a crack at the basics rank at a later date. Now the question is, can that red GTO meet him in the Hot Wheel finals? We're about to find out. But that Tahoe, he packs a little bit of speed, and the GTO holds him off. 2098 to 99. 2098 is the time to beat. Oh no! 2090 to 92. And the Tahoe has eliminated the red GTO. I can't hardly even believe it. But there it is. Tahoe moving on to the Hot Wheel Finals. Sorry, that's the Matchbox Finals. Now on to the Hot Wheels side of things. It's the convertible GTO and the Transformer Bugatti. Good race, 89 to 91. The GTO getting it. So a 2089 is the time to beat. GTO gonna get it. He's going to the semis. Final for the Hot Wheels side. Question is he going to be taking on the 300 or the Mustang? Are we going to have another upset? Mustang hold them off. 2095 is the time to beat. Mustang again. 2086. There we go. So here we are down to the last two for Hot Wheels and the last two for Matchbox. If your car is still in the race, congratulations. It was a tough pick this go around. So, for the semifinals, here is the Matchbox. Who's going to the final race? GTO or the Tahoe? GTO, yeah. 2075 is the time to beat. GTO 2079 pulls away with it, going to the final race. How epic it would be to be a GTO final. He's got to put out that Mustang, though, which is a tall order. 2090 to 91. Can the GTO pull off the upset? No, Mustang with a 2083 getting faster, moving himself to the final race. But first, let's see who takes third, the Tahoe or the GTO. Good race, really good race. 2093 and a 10,000 beat by the GTO. 2093 is the time to beat. 2092 in the GTO. Squeaking out the third place position. And here is your race final. Some would say the usual suspects here in the Mustang Mach 1 and the GTO from Matchbox. Let's find out. Fastest time after lane swap is going to be determined our winner. Once again, I want to thank everybody for making a pick. Let's see who gets down the lane first and wins. Matchbox versus Hot Wheels. And it is Matchbox with a 2070. Fastest time of the night. Let's switch those lanes. 2070, the time to beat. A 16,000 deficit is pretty hard to overcome. But man, the Mustang puts up a better fight this time. But it is the GTO with that Kung Pao chicken speedy delivery. And there you have it. Third place is going to be the unpicked GTO convertible. Second place is going to go to the Mach 1 yellow Mustang from Hot Wheels, driven by Northern Roads Racing, Dutch Clutch Racing, Larry Stipe, Aramis Rodriguez, Barrett Skunkworks, Helium Gas, and Archin 8 Industries. And your winner, number 1 overall, Matchbox, winning this exchange in the green GTO Superfast, driven by Brian Creasy, Max Thunder 2, Cash Money Boys, and Mystic Archives. Congratulations if you have picked a podium winner this week and the winner. Tough racing this week for sure. And now we're going to turn on the scale and see if our winner has anything for the 31 to 40 weight class. Coincidentally, the green GTO gifted by Brian Creasy is still 14th in the weight class. So let's just see. We might be bumping out the governor here. Oh, yeah. No, 2070 to 71. He drove around him. Let's see if he can capture it. 2070 and greater than 1. No, 2069 to 81. And that GTO just falling short. Number 1 over in the B-sides is Harley Quinn from the Sketch series. Let's see if the GTO can take her out. Indeed, 71 to 72. 71 and greater than 1. It's time to beat for Harley. 67 and 5. Definitely does it. Let's see what he does against the second sketched Superman. He does get him 72 to 6. 2072 and greater than 4 is what Superman will need. 71 and 2. This GTO coming up short. Let's see if he can. Let's see what he does against Sketch Superman number 1. Tough ranks here at elevation. GTO, I'm sure, will break in over time. You know how these things go. He's going to get him 70 to 3. Let's see if that's enough. 70 and greater than 3. He will end up getting him. So that will break up the sketched crew, putting that GTO 3rd overall in the B-sides, 31 to 40 weight class. And that is going to do it for this edition of Matchbox versus Hot Wheels. Make sure if you want to join in the races, we have a mailed-in tournament coming up on March 1st, Hot Wheels versus Matchbox, 31 to 40 weight class. And the modified portion of that race is going to be a Kenner Fast Ones Turbo Tram. Go ahead and check out redlinederby.com for all the rules and details and where to send your entries. It's going to be a good one. So, from all of us over here at Elevation Diecast Racing, if your car isn't fast, well, at least it'll look good on the shelf. See ya.